special guest hosts of Mythbusters. My name is Dana.
My name is Katrina.
And the Mythbusters hired us to bust some very special myths for you. Today we will be busting myths about birth control! First of all, what is birth control? Birth control is actually an umbrella term used for various methods and techniques that is used to prevent fertilization and interrupt pregnancy at various stages. Today we will actually be talking about the birth control pill and Plan B.
As a quick overview, the way the birth control pill actually works is by stopping the ovary from releasing an egg each month, using various hormones such as estrogen and progesterone. The menstrual cycle, which is responsible for reproduction in females, is separated into 3 stages: the follicular stage, ovulation, and luteal stage. The follicular stage is when the follicles in the ovaries develop and mature and introduces 2 main hormones which regulate the other hormones and stages. They are called follicle-stimulating hormone, also known as FSH, and luteinizing hormone, also known as LH, and are produced in the pituitary gland in the brain. Both of these hormones help to mature the follicles, which leads to the release of the egg or ovulation. While these hormones are being produced and beginning their duties, estrogen levels are increasing, which creates a lining of endometrium in the uterus in preparation for a fetus to begin to grow. Once estrogen is at its peak, LH will be heavily secreted, which onsets ovulation in hopes of being fertilized by sperm. When the egg is not fertilized, the endometrium lining will begin to shed because it is not needed, causing one's period. What oral contraception in the form of a pill does is regulate and decrease the estrogen levels in females, essentially altering the menstrual cycle to prevent ovulation and therefore pregnancy.
Now, what birth control does is stop the ovary from releasing an egg. Birth control pills are composed of low dosages of estrogen and progesterone. Progesterone maintains the lining of the uterus in order to prepare the uterus for implantation of a fertilized egg. It assumes the pregnancy of a woman, so it stops the ovaries from releasing new eggs. When a woman is on the pill, of course, these hormones are not surging. They are being given in steady doses so that ovulation is permanently shut down. The next way that hormonal contraception and the pill work is that they thicken the cervical mucus, the substance at the cervix, which is the opening of the uterus. This makes the mucus sticky so that when the sperm try to get through the cervix, the sticky mucus makes it much harder for them to swim through, thus making it more difficult to reach the fertilized egg. The final way that the pill works to prevent pregnancy has to do with the uterine lining. Hormonal contraceptives may cause changes to the lining of the uterus. The hormones in these methods can thin out or prevent the growth of uterine tissue. This may reduce the likelihood of implantation.
Myth 1. Long-term use of the birth control pill can cause infertility because of its effects on the egg and cause birth defects. I saw you reading that pamphlet on birth control. Are there any questions you have that weren't answered in it?
Yeah, actually I was just wondering if birth control caused birth defects or infertility.
Wow, that's a great question. Well, the reason why birth control is so widely used and popular is because of its minimal risks and side effects. The way the pill actually works is by adjusting the levels of progesterone and estrogen in your body so that ovulation does not occur at all. When ovulation doesn't occur, the egg is simply kept inside the ovary instead of being released into the fallopian tube. Also, the lining of the cervix thickens by creating a wall of mucus so that the sperm isn't inhibited from entering into the uterus. Because the quality of the egg is not affected whatsoever, there's no infertility caused after using the pill. Also, no birth defects have been noted. In a European study, 2,000 women were followed for at least 2 years after discontinued use of oral contraceptives in the form of a pill, and observed how long it took them to get pregnant. The study found that just after 1 cycle post-pill, approximately 21% of women had conceived a baby, with the average conception rate with no use of the pill at 20 to 25%. Therefore, the birth control pill has no effect on the egg other than not releasing it, which explains why the average woman would still be fertile, with no birth defects apparent in their child after use of oral contraception in the form of a pill. Myth 2. The only use for the pill is contraception. While the birth control pill is most popularly known and used for its 99.3% effectiveness in preventing pregnancy, it can also be used to achieve a multitude of other results. The birth control pill is also used to regulate the timing and frequency of one's period. It can also be used in helping to reduce the look of acne and face blemishes. Acne is not simply an infection caused by clogged pores or poor diet. In fact, it is actually a series of exchanges of hormones beneath the skin, and this is why most women notice worsened acne or blemishes around their period because of the increasing levels of estrogen. The birth control pill contains a chemical named oestrogen, which helps to balance the levels of estrogen throughout your menstrual cycle, which in turn lowers the chances of developing worsened acne. Oral contraceptives reduce androgens, which are the sex hormones that are partly responsible for acne formation. They reduce the level of free testosterone in the body by telling the ovaries and adrenal glands to produce less androgens. Oral contraceptives increase the level of sex hormone binding globulins, which inhibit the conversion of free testosterone into dihydrotestosterone, which can also increase the production of androgens.
Myth 3. All birth control pills are the same.
Birth control is made up of two different hormones, estrogen and progesterone. The functional groups in estrogen are an alcohol, a methyl, and a ketone. It is a steroid hormone, and its role is in the development of the secondary sexual characteristics in females.
So progesterone is the other hormone that makes up birth control. It is a steroid hormone, and it is involved in the human body for the menstrual cycle, pregnancy, and embryogenesis in humans. It is made up of an aldehyde and a ketone. There are different brands and varieties to choose from. They can contain different levels of hormones or supply them at different times. Typically, birth control pills are classified as either combination pills, which contain estrogen and progesterone, or progesterone-only pills, which don't contain estrogen. Now, we already looked at combination pills, but progesterone-only pills work a bit differently. It has all the effects of the combination pill, except it may not stop the egg from ovulating, which decreases its effectiveness. This progesterone-only pill is better for women with high blood pressure or women with a history of blood clots. As a supplement to our discussion about birth control. Levonorgestrel Plan B is a progesterone-only emergency birth control pill intended for use within 72 hours of unprotected sexual intercourse. It is intended for use only by those women whose regular birth control methods have failed or who may have had intercourse without birth control. This medication is believed to prevent pregnancy primarily by delaying ovulation or preventing fertilization of the egg. It may also prevent implantation of the egg by altering the endometrium, which is the inner lining of the uterus. This is not a replacement for regular use of birth control.